Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good day. I welcome you to another series of critical and creative thinking lessons. And for today, we're going to focus on covering the topic of critical and creative thinking from the Islamic perspective. Before we move forward, let me introduce myself. My name is Aziz bin Yahya. I'm a senior lecturer in University Technical Malaysia, Melaka. And at the end of this lesson, I hope that all of you who watch this video will be able to explain the meaning of thinking, especially critical and creative thinking, and from the Islamic perspective. Second, you will be able to identify the types of laws in Islam, which there are more than one laws, and this is the basis of foundation in thinking. Guys, in Arabic, the word think have several words which share the same meaning, and among them there are two, which they say it as al-fiqh, and the second one is al-tafakkur. So the meaning of al-tafakkur, Al-Jawhari said that it is the state of being silent while in a deep thought. Now, he also mentioned that there are three phases of tafakkur, or when you are doing tafakkur, you have to undergo three phases of situation. The first one, you will have to give the concept of an idea or information. While sitting silently and in a deep thought, you are going to give or conceptualize an idea or information. And this, relating to our topic, which is critical and creative thinking, this is actually the characteristic of a critical thinker, the person who are doing it. Now, the second one is the second phase. After you have conceptualized the idea, you are going to concentrate and even forming new ideas on that information or idea that you have conceptualized. And this is actually the characteristic of a creative thinking. The person who is doing it, we will say he's a creative thinker. Now, looking at the first phase and the second phase, tafakkur actually combines critical and creative thinking. This is the third one is the unique between Islamic perspective and the Western perspective, which is Islamic perspective. Whether you are doing critical thinking or you're doing creative thinking, you have to bring this thinking towards God or towards Allah in this case, towards Allah as the creator of the supreme court. And whatever idea you have, there is a purpose for this, which is as a humble servant of Allah, you will devote this idea, this effort, this information towards the betterment of others to get blessed from Allah. And this is actually will increase your faith towards, in this case, towards religion and towards Allah. And this third phase and the final phase is actually critical thinking. Now let's go to other words in Al-Quran. In Al-Quran, it's actually, there are words which have meanings related to thinking. We have mentioned just now, the first one, tafakkur, which is think, and this covers both critical and creative thinking. The next one, we can find the word ta'akkul, which in layman's word, used to mean the use of the brain. And this again, when you use of your brain, the left brain, the right side of your brain, the left side of your brain, is actually you are doing critical and creative thinking. The third word is ta'abbur. Ta'abbur means to observe carefully. And a characteristic of a creative thinker is to be able to observe around, especially the surrounding, and to come up with ideas. This also gives the meaning of thinking, and in this case, especially on creative thinking. Number four is tazakkur. Tazakkur means to take lesson. Whatever you observe, whatever you think, there must be lesson learned from it. This is the best thing about Islamic perspective. You think, you take some lesson from it, and you adapt to your action, or you improve future decision making. The last one is tadabbur, this to evaluate. And according to Bloom's taxonomy, evaluation is on the 6th level. Now, evaluation is also under critical thinking. And in Islam or in Al-Quran, you mentioned tadabbur, which is to evaluate. It is quite similar with the highest level of Bloom's taxonomy, which is to evaluate. Now, besides the 5 words just now, who give the meaning of, which give meanings of think to think, there are also other words which lead us to think, and this mostly on the senses. In this case, it is a verb, action words. Now, there are also in Al-Quran who mentioned basara. Basara means to observe. When you observe, you use not only your eyes, but also your mind. Nazara. Nazara means to see. When you see, you use your eyes, automatically your mind will analyze it. And the last one is sami'a, that is to listen. Now let us see some of the elements of thinking in Al-Quran. And in this case, you will see elements of critical thinking and also creative thinking. And what are the facts or what are the evidence shown in Al-Quran? The first element which Al-Quran mentioned, when you think, there are purpose of to compare and to differentiate. And the evidence is shown in Surah Al-An'am, the verse 50, which you can see in the screen, which says that, I'll tell you not that with me are the treasures of Allah, nor do I know what is hidden, nor do I tell you I am an angel. I but follow what is revealed to me. Can the blind be held equal to the seeing? Will ye then consider not? Now, this is to compare between the one who sees and the one who did not see the right path. Again, when you do critical thinking, you compare and differentiate. So Al-Quran clearly shows this. Number 2 is, why do we think? We think because we want to create category. From creating categories, we can make differentiation again, and we can rank. So in Surah Al-Baqarah, from verse 1 until verse 5, it shows categorization. Let us see. Now, in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 1 to verse 5, it mentioned that people who succeed in life, there are people into several groups, which is namely those who believe in that which was revealed, meaning revealed from Al-Quran and also from Al-Sunnah. Believe in supernatural matters, heaven, earth, the hereafter, the judgment day. Believe in the hereafter, do prayers, and also practice regular charity. Now, this category are the ones that receive guidance and success. Receive guidance from Allah and also will success in life, not only in this world, but also in the hereafter. Now, the third one, when we talk about elements of critical and creative thinking in Al-Quran, is to explain why. Al-Baqarah 29-19. They ask thee concerning wine and gambling. Say, in them is great sin and some profit for men. But the sin is greater than the profit. The sin is greater than the profit. They ask thee how much they are to spend. Say, what is beyond your needs? Thus doth Allah make clear to you His sign, in order that ye may consider. The key words here is to explain why. Why the gambling, the wine is not allowed. Now, this also, the element in terms of thinking in Al-Quran, the purpose is to explain why you can do this, why you cannot do that. Number 4 is to specify as trusted trusted source. This is very important in doing critical and critical thinking. You must identify where is your source, where is the evidence come from. So in Al-Quran, it's very systematic, when it shows that in order to get when you get a news, you have to find where is that news come from, who is giving that news, and whether the person can be trusted or not. And it is mentioned in Al-Hujurat, verse 6. Next is to create analogies and metaphor. This will relate to creative thinking, and also mentioned in Al-Quran, Surah An-Nahl, verse 75, where God says about a slave under the domination of another, he has no power of any sort. And a man whom we have bestowed goodly favors from ourselves, and he spent therefore freely, privately and publicly, are the two equals. By no means praise to be Allah, but most of them understand not. So, you see, from the first element until the fifth element, there are elements of critical and critical thinking mentioned in Al-Quran. And the last one is to make decision. This is very important. When you make decision, you inculcate what you have gathered, all the evidence, the trusted source, all this, and you will have to make your decision. And then it's mentioned in Ali Imran, verse 159, where it is part of the mercy of Allah that though does deal gently with them, were those severe of harsh-hearted, they would have broken away from about thee. So pass over their fault and ask for Allah's forgiveness for them, and consult them in a fair of moment. Then when thou hast taken a decision, put thy trust in Allah, for Allah loves those who put their trust in Him.